everyone, and welcome to the May Contain Action, a podcast. This episode is presented by G Fuel, the official drink of esports and the official drink of your mom. Use code MCA at checkout for a discount on your next order. I'm Paul. We'll cut that out.
That's Stan, dude.
Action Jackson on the internet, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, I am Trevor May.
That's me.
Man with the most adjectives before his name.
Everyone who doesn't know, I just put a little tag in the outline that says "Make up a G Fuel tagline," and Paul went, "The official drink of your mom." That's what he went with. That's what he made up.
Moms can't like G Fuel. Moms love G Fuel.
No, I didn't say that. You're being very absolutist here. But he was called upon to be creative for literally 3 seconds and just couldn't do it.
Honestly, I mean, debatable,
Default.
but kind of feel like I nailed it. So Trevor, you're back. I would say back home, but you're back home in Seattle.
Yes,
in a new spot. And how's moving in going?
It's fun. I love moving all the time. It's great. No, there's crap everywhere, but the boxes are slowly dwindling down, and we're putting all of our energy. I'm so exhausted every day. I'm like, how are we not done? Like, how are we doing one room at a time? And it's like we have 1,000 cat beds. I don't know how we had 9 cat beds in our car coming back from New York. So I'm like,
we only have 2 cats.
We have 2 cats.
How many beds do you have?
1.
I feel like there's an inappropriate ratio there. Doesn't make any sense.
Kate's fault.
Kate loves the cats. You said all your paintings and everything and all the artwork's on the ground. Everything's on the ground.
I walked downstairs. She was watching TV when I was done streaming yesterday. Walked downstairs. She's sitting in their little chair. I look over. Both cats are on her lap. She has 2 caps draped over her body. She can't even move. I'm like, okay.
It's funny because I can see it. I've seen it before, and it's great.
And she just looked at me like kind of surprised, like, yeah,
exactly.
Can't move. Can you give me some water? I'm thirsty.
Well, enough about your cats.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that
later. No, your crap on the floor. All right. The person we have joining us today has quite an incredible list of accomplishments, and has just recently turned 21 years old, or years wise. Years young. I don't know. Any one of those is fine. She's a recording artist, an actor, a world traveler that's been to dozens of countries and almost every U.S. state. She's given a TED Talk, what? She's a Twitch music partner. She's trilingual, Chinese, Spanish, and English, and a keynote speaker. And I feel like I've done nothing with my life. Without further ado, Heavenly Reyna is here, everybody.
Hello.
My goodness, outstanding. Do you want to host the pod? I'll just walk. I feel like there's nothing.
Do you want podcasts in that list? Because you can have it.
My gosh, outstanding.
Another check off the bucket list.
Exactly. Thanks so much for being with us, Heavenly.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. Well, let's get into it, I guess. With all of those accolades, it's kind of hard to know where to begin. But how about the actual beginning? So I see the travel has been a huge part of your life since you're very, very young. You've been kind of doing this for a while, right? Going here and there. Mm-hmm. When did you and the family start? Like, was the traveling that much the plan, or was it like kind of see how it goes?
I was 5 when it all started, so I don't really have a lot of memory of the decision making itself. But
okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I assume I was there for some of it.
They consulted you. They're like, "Can we do this?"
They're talking to each other and they're like, "You're going," and then
you're like, "Okay."
Just me 4 feet off the ground. So it started when I was 5, and they saw the recession of 2008 coming, and they decided to sell our house. And I have older parents, and it took them a long time to have me. And so they really wanted to spend time with me and be able to watch me grow up and really have a really strong family bond.
Yeah.
And so when they kind of saw the recession coming, they were like, maybe we should sell our house. And then they were like, well, if we're going to sell our house, maybe we sell everything and we just travel.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and so they retired early, and we bought an RV in Europe, and
like
we
you
just, as one does, on a Sunday afternoon, and we started traveling all over the world, and the rest is kind of history. I actually don't know if it was supposed to be how long it was supposed to be for initially. That is a question that has never been asked of me, and I've never wondered. And now I'm very curious.
What a great podcast we are. This is crazy.
Really just...
Yeah,
maybe you should have solved the Zodiac.
Well, like, because some people also have that crazy memory of like, oh yeah, I remember what I did when I was 2. I'm like, what? How do you remember that?
I feel like everybody has like just like different they just remember random things.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. I don't remember anything before 11 years old, so I assume I actually legitimately thought I was an 11. I remember waking up one day and be like, I don't remember being a child. Am I like an alien imposter? Did someone replace me? I don't remember. It was a hard time for Paul. Paul had a hard time.
Wow. You don't
even know who I am.
That's very, very old to not remember. I remember walking into Knott's Berry Farm at 6. That's all. And I remember being like, wow, Disney World. And they're like, this is Disneyland. And this is actually not Disneyland. This is Knott's Berry Farm. And I'm like, immersion, man.
Trevor, this is a Toys R Us.
I remember Toys R Us. That's what I remember.
There you go. Oh, on Nickelodeon, remember they used to run through Toys R Us and do the shopping spree thing? I wanted to do that so bad.
Oh my god! Wait, didn't they do that? Called? Didn't they? I thought that was Ellen.
I mean, Ellen did it. I mean, it's a popular format, but I can't remember. It was called like something Dash or it was like kid. I don't remember. And you could just run through a Toys R Us, and you had 10 minutes, and you as much stuff as you could fit in a cart. You got to keep
dumping action figures
in
their cart.
I have dreams about that.
Yeah,
oh, God, who didn't?
I wanted to be on it so bad. I just want to get Nerf guns. I wanted those armory Nerf guns.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm going to one aisle.
With the traveling and how much you were doing that. Do you remember like what's one of your best memories of doing that? Especially like early on RV time. Was it kind of like I'm with my parents, like we're in an RV, like this is fun? Like what was your first kind of?
I think my first vivid memory of our traveling was when so the first stop we did was we flew into the Netherlands, and that's where we bought our RV.
Wow.
And for like 10 years, or not 10 years, but like for as long as we had the RV, everybody would always think that we were Dutch. And I am blonde. Like I look like I could be Dutch. And so people would come up to us and be like talking to like me in Dutch. And I'd be like, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm American. I'm from the United States. But the very first few nights we spent in Amsterdam, we were on like a little houseboat, and it had a throne inside of it. Why? I don't know. Like a throne, like a real
throne, not like the bathroom, like in the real throne. No. Okay, all right.
Like for a queen.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No. There's pictures, and I was just like obsessed with it. Yeah, I remember just like eating a lollipop, like sitting on it. Like that's my
massive lollipop. Like that's really Dutch too. Just
I don't think it
like
was
just a huge,
just like
lollipop, or like one of the. That's what I imagine. I do imagine one of those like cartoonishly large lollipops.
Right. Right. No, I think it was normal sized, unfortunately. Probably. No, but that's my first like vivid memory of traveling.
That's a really interesting memory.
Mm-hmm.
That's like very
you would remember a throne.
Yeah.
Even before 11, you might remember a throne.
Maybe not for Paul, but Paul wouldn't remember a throne.
Am I really Paul? Kind of think I might have been swapped out.
Maybe not. Maybe you're Avril Lavigne.
Wait.
Imagine. Have you seen her lately, Paul? Me either, dude.
Have you ever seen Avril Lavigne and Paul in the same room together?
Nope. No. Don't blow my mind. This is going to be like a Milton Teapot episode all over again. I can't handle it. Don't do that.
We had a guest go over why aliens, how likely it is we're in a simulation, and he explained it for like 10 minutes, and Paul almost died. Paul almost had an aneurysm. Like he could shut down.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to like pretend that I knew what that was or not. So I'm glad that you explained.
No, yes.
Yeah,
totally. Milton Teapot, yeah.
He is a fellow Twitch streamer, and he is a very very funny guy. If you're ever, he is one of the funniest off the top of his head, like role playing. I don't know. He's just got so much stuff. Anyway, everyone knows about Milton that's listened to this, right? Guys, and everyone's nodding at home right now in their cars as they listen.
Nodding, yeah.
They've listened to that one. I have a little bit of expansion though on this. So you went at 5. When did you? I assume now you've kind of settled a little bit more, right? You're in LA. When did kind of the age of nomadism end?
So when I was 10, we moved to Asia, and that's where I learned Mandarin. And we lived in Malaysia and we lived in China, and we were pretty stationary there for a while. And it was like we were spending, I think the longest time we spent was like 9 months, then maybe like a trip back to the US to visit family. And then we were back there for like, 6 months, 9 months. We were there for about 3 years off and on. And then when I was 13, we moved back to the States. We moved to Dallas, Texas. And we lived there for about a year and a half. And I got like musical training and like songwriting and singing. And that's kind of like where like I got all of my initial training. And then when I was 15, we moved to LA, and we've been here 6 years, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Did you guys live in LA before you were 5? Did you say that already? You said that.
No. So I grew up in Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Santa Cruz Mountains.
Okay. To be honest, I don't even know where Santa Cruz is with the relation to LA, but I know it's
like an hour away from San Francisco. It's right on the coast.
Okay, yeah, it's north.
Yeah, it's north.
I should say north to north.
North.
Oh my goodness.
But not south. Not south.
Yeah, not down north. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
South by Southwest.
So you being on the road, you graduated high school at 14. I'm assuming you were road schooled the entire time.
Road schooled.
Wow. We lived in Spain. So to give me a little bit of like stability and like community, for the first 4 years, we spent winter and spring in the same village in Spain.
Okay.
And I went to school there from 1st through 4th grade. During like that time. And so I was able to have like friends and like a sense of community and a place we could go back to. So I wasn't like always traveling and always like something different, and I never had like a stable place. Yeah. And that was always really important for my parents to like give me a sense of like community and stability. How many times have I said those 2 words in the past 30 seconds? Like take a shot. Not enough. But yeah, and so I would go to school during that period of time, but then during the other periods of time, I'd be homeschooled. And then when I was in Asia, I went to school. I went to like an actual school, like the whole time I was there.
Interesting. So I'm assuming the Spanish learning was in Spain, and the kind of the 2 anchor places you've been,
right,
are where you learned that clears that up. Like,
right.
I'm really curious about. So you've essentially experienced a bunch of different schooling systems, from homeschool to like different. I assume the school you went to in China was a public school or like state run, or was it?
It was actually a private school.
Private school. Okay, cool.
But yeah, it was a private school, but it was probably like equal to like a. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I would say it was pretty well run. Yeah.
How do those compare? Like, I feel like it will give you a very unique perspective on public schooling within, or even private schooling in the U.S. Like, how do those compare, and kind of what was bad, what was good about those schools?
Well, the thing so I went to like kindergarten and like 1st grade here because I think I started the 1st grade when I was 4 because I was very advanced for my age. And so I got to experience a little bit of like, and there were some really, really good public schools, like some of the best where we lived. And then the school I went to in Spain was also a public school. And that was a pretty good school. I mean, again, it was like very basic elementary. And so I couldn't really tell you like, oh my God, like the extracurriculars was phenomenal.
Phonics.
Like, but the only thing that I can really compare stuff to is like what I've noticed of like friends in high school when I lived in LA, because I was friends with a lot of kids from like really, really well like known private schools and like charter schools. And Malaysia is already like, it's a well-developed nation, but like compared to the United States, it's still like not on the same level in terms of like the schooling when you go private, it's like comparable to a public school. But it's very interesting. Like it was definitely a very interesting experience. I learned a lot.
Yeah. Even just those cultures in between, like how they handle school. Because I mean, when you said you went to school in China and Malaysia, or did you go? Was it China and Malaysia? You went to school in both of those?
I went to a school for the most part in Malaysia, and then I also went to a boarding school for like a concentrated period of time in China. That is to really like immersion. Yeah.
I just feel like you would have vastly different. Again, you were very young, but just like even the philosophy of how they implement schooling in those countries compared to the U.S.
Right. I mean, like I remember stuff from before I was 11. So like when I was like, so
cool. Very good.
So like,
do you?
I remember like most of my like education in Malaysia. Like I'm pretty like, I think I remember most stuff from like 12 to like 13 was like the most. So like I remember that whole year, but
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
It does make a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense.
I really feel like no one else remembers before 11. You all think
you're weird.
You're
we establish this in different
ways
every single week. Okay.
Everybody's different.
Just nod.
We're all on our own journey.
Right. We're all on our own journey. Exactly. So you graduated at 14, and then you you went to college after that. Was that also
started? College?
Yes.
Well, okay. So when I graduated when I was 14, and then we moved here when I was 15.
Okay.
And I started going to Santa Monica College.
Okay.
And I went there for like 2 semesters. And then it was just like too much with like the acting and the music. And I was like, okay, I'll come back to this.
Yeah.
And then I didn't.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have to. Right. And that's you had lots of time. I mean, everyone there was 4 years older too. So you're like, hey, you know what?
Exactly.
See where I'm at in 4 years. And if I don't need this, for the birds.
I mean, you're talking to 2 people who definitely wait, Trevor, I'm really forgetting. You didn't graduate.
I went to one semester as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my first B.
You did?
And I was like, wow. I didn't care about that class at all. And I just think I'm going to read a lot and just hope baseball works out. That's what I'm going to do. Because that was going into, and I went in the off season between for 4 months. And I was like, this is not what I want to be doing when I'm not working. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's how that worked. I'm not a college graduate either, but I did go check out the TED Talk.
Nice.
You broke down lot of places. So it was great. A lot of places you've been, a lot of things you've done. But a theme that I saw like kind of pretty prevalent and all that stuff was how purposeful you guys were with like, you were trying to learn stuff. You were trying to like learn the culture and learn, I assume a lot of it was music related and things you like to do. And you got to try everything. So how purposeful was that? Was that like a concerted effort for you and your family? Like, hey, if we're going to be here, let's do as much stuff as possible while we're here.
Yeah. I mean, their whole goal really was to they wanted to educate me as like a global citizen. And they really wanted to give me, they always like let me lead the way in terms of learning. Cause I was always a very like, what's the word that I'm thinking of? I can't, like, it's not coming to mind right now, but I was always a very, the word is not pretentious, but it sounds like precocious. That's the word. I was always very precocious, and I always like had a really good idea of what I wanted to do, and like what I like once I set my mind to something, like I would do it, And I was always I loved learning. Like I always liked doing math, and like I loved reading. Like I was the biggest like reader as a kid, and I still love reading. But like the majority of my education came from just reading like books, and a lot of places that we would go, we would just use it as like a learning opportunity, like museums and like, places like that. And just kind of using the environment to learn. And then obviously like supplementary stuff like math. Like my dad is like really good at math. And so like he would always like teach me math. And then that was just like, it was just like my general ed. throughout like my life.
Oh my gosh.
Just last little thing. Do you think that, the number of things you kind of picked up and tried, and do you think you've developed like a propensity to kind of like pick things up quickly because you've tried so many different things? Is that something that you would, it's hard to explain that. Do you think you pick things up good because you've done lots of things?
Do things good?
Jeez.
Why do many word when few word you try?
Exactly.
I actually don't know. That's a really good question. I've always been like a very impatient person when it comes to like learning. Like I want to learn.
You want to know?
I want to learn fast and quick. Like when I was getting my license, I wanted to like get it done fast, and I wanted to just do it. I wanted to be there already, But I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I guess I do pick things up fast. I think it just depends on the thing, to be honest.
Well, did you, speak of picking those things up, I'm curious about, did you have to, when your parents went from place to place, did you learn those languages that you're in? Because obviously you speak fluent Spanish and Chinese. Did you learn those out of a necessity? Or just kind of out of being like what you said, being like a citizen of the world type of a thing with your parents?
So I'm half Spanish. My dad is Spanish by birth. And my parents always wanted me to be trilingual or bilingual. They originally, so my dad only spoke Spanish to me until I was 5, I think.
Dang.
Or no. 3
Did he
years.
surprise you one day? It was like, haha, I know English. And you're like, what?
Honestly, I have no idea. I really wish I remembered that day, but I don't.
Oh man, that's so good. I'd done
yeah,
that.
That's a really good question though. No, but like he only spoke Spanish to me. And so I was like already, like I could already speak Spanish by the time we went to Spain. And like so could he. But it really just like made me like uber fluent. And they tried teaching me Mandarin when I was a kid. Like they got me like a babysitter. Who like spoke Mandarin, and they tried to like do that, but it was just too much, I guess, trying to teach a 2-year-old 5 languages at the same time. So they were like, let's like put the Chinese aside for now. And then when I was 8, the main reason they wanted me to learn these languages was because like they're the 3 major languages in the world, and they were like, okay, well we can just set her up.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
We should all know more. Like Americans should just, we need to know more languages.
I know that.
We need to know more.
Period.
Outside our own little thing we're doing, whatever it is.
I spent a little bit of time in Germany because my wife's family lives in Germany. And so I was able to go over there and kind of talk with them, and just about everybody knows English.
Right.
And I remember like this sense of like, not like, I don't know, guilt or shame seems like way too strong because I wasn't like down about it, but I was kind of like, man, like I kind of do wish I was bilingual, like at least bilingual. You guys know English and German, and you're fluent in both. And I remember a couple of people I said that to, like family members, were like, why? And I was like, oh, because I would like to know multiple languages. And they're like, you know English, like it's the only one you would need to know for like, and they're all in business and like it's like the I guess the language of business. But I remember that being just like a weird response of like one I didn't expect of like,
right,
you know English, like you know the language. So but I try not to let that like go to my head, as it were, of just like, I think it's still good to diversify yourself and know more things, but I think they're looking at it as like a you know the thing that you need to know, like don't feel bad because you know the thing you need to know.
Right.
Yeah. One of my biggest regrets is actually not, because I have teammates too, because I could be pretty immersed in Spanish, at least, Latin American Spanish, for all day if I wanted to, because like 10 guys on every team I've ever been on are all from the Dominican or Puerto Rico, and I have teammates that have made a concerted effort to speak to them in Spanish so they can get like semi-fluent at least. And I understand. People can talk. I know what you're saying, and then I just reply in English because I'm lazy. and now here we are 14 years in. I'm like, man, I could. It was teed up for me, and all I had to do was make some effort. And I'm probably could have made some pretty good friends too that way. Maybe I'll do that. Moving
Never
forward,
too late to learn.
Never too late. But yeah, learning Spanish, especially in what I do, would have been pretty helpful.
Super helpful.
Super helpful. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of setting the. We know a lot about your past. Now let's get into the Heavenly of today. You stream on Twitch where you sing and write. Do you write live on stream, or do you?
I haven't mostly? Yet. I'm supposed to. I had a subathon where one of my goals was like write a song on stream, and I haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
so
been there.
She's getting to it, guys. Just be patient.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
After my pickle costume stream.
You have a pickle costume?
I do. I ordered it yesterday.
I have the same one. Probably. I have a pickle.
One of us.
It's like the banana, right? But it's just a pickle.
Should I also have a pickle? You both have one.
We should all be wearing.
I wore it for Halloween in 2013, man, and now it's still in there somehow. I don't know why I still have it. That is neither here nor there. I want to learn about this. So you stream on Twitch. You're working on an album, correct?
I am. I've been working on an album on and off for like the past couple of years, but mostly like right now, my main focus is like singles for the moment. I'm doing a holiday EP.
Ooh.
Oh, awesome.
Which is going to be fun.
Love holiday EPs.
I'm so excited for that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been working on right now.
So you're working on a lot of music. Are you acting right now?
I am. I mean, like I'm auditioning a lot. I just finished shooting a feature in September, where I did like my first stunt, where I had to like fall off of a boat.
Yeah,
and that was fun. I had so many bruises. Water? Yeah, onto like a mat, and then also into the water.
And also into the
at 4 in the morning outside.
Was it freezing?
It was so cold.
Awful.
And I was wearing this like really, really heavy dress, and so I was like drowning. I was like.
Wait, could you only get one take, or did they like, that wasn't good enough?
It was only
dry off,
take.
put on a new, put on the same dress.
Yeah,
we're doing it again.
We were on like 2 hours of overtime.
Oh wow!
So they were like, you have one take.
Oh dang!
They're like, you have one take to get this done.
Is it like? I feel like this is very random. Falling into water, does it need multiple takes? Because I feel like the character is going to have the same reaction that you would have. In like 99% of cases.
Yeah, you're not faking anything.
No one's like going into ice cold water, like making a weird face, like rock solid, and just like there's no.
Right.
I don't know.
You're terrified. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, everyone doesn't want.
I mean, I don't know how they would have done another take, honestly. Like the dress was soaking wet at that point. They didn't have another one.
Makeup, like all that stuff.
Why is she wet already? Don't think too much into it. It's a great movie. So you're focused. So you've settled in. You're in LA, and you're really locked in on the music and the acting thing currently right this moment. Okay, that is. I'm super excited. I'm actually really excited. I've been getting really into music streams lately.
Oh, nice.
I cannot remember. Is it Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park?
Yeah.
He does the pull random like genres out of the hat, and then he makes something that day, which is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because he's made so many he's made rock albums and rap and and a little bit of electronic and stuff. So he's a guy I've been watching. So I'm excited to come in and pop in and see what you got working with, especially when we do that, when you do that writing the song thing, because I cannot wait to see someone who can actually play music, play it and do it, because I've made a little music in my past. I cannot play any instruments except for the trombone, which is so random. But I learned that when I was in 8th grade. That's my worldliness. I'm a big man. I just want to learn Spanish, and I want to learn to play the piano. And what I'm trying to say is, Heavenly, will you teach me to do everything that you do?
This was a long con podcast.
Long con. That's the whole reason we're coming on.
Time to shoot a shot. Yeah, that's what
I was going to ask you to
long con.
Make me good at the things that I want to be good at.
I mean, like you could put me on retainer, and I could just
and she hits me with a pay me.
I could put you on retainer.
Hourly, though.
Hourly.
I'm not guaranteeing you get better at all. I'm just saying.
There's no guarantee. The only guarantee is that I get paid.
It's a great guarantee.
I can teach you many things.
Okay.
As someone who knows many things, if I may, which one? Because all those are different disciplines. Music, even I feel like I obviously you know more than I would about songwriting versus singing is its own discipline, as well as acting. Which one brings you the most joy? Which one do you enjoy the most?
That's actually such a good question. I feel like different aspects of different things bring me like different joys, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they ignite different things in you that get you excited. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Like there's so much like songwriting, you're like creating something, and it's like so fulfilling to create something and listen to it and be like, oh my God, I made that.
Yeah.
And like it sounds so good, you know? Like that's like and just the process of creating music with people that you love and that you enjoy being around, that you have a rapport with, is just so like amazing.
Yes.
And then on the other side as well, like with acting, it's such like a community-based sport, you know?
Really?
Because like when you're on a set, I feel like auditioning is different because like honestly, auditioning is half the job, and it's like you're just like doing self-tapes in your apartment and like you're sending them off and hoping that, you know, you get picked. But like when you're actually like on the job, there's such like a wonderful feeling of family a lot of times, depending on like how long the shoots are, and like you can get really close with the people that you work with, and it can just be like you can create like lifelong relationships and friendships with the people that you work with.
That's true. I mean, you'd imagine you would be with those people more than other people in those different disciplines. Like when you do that shooting, you're with them for weeks or months at a time. Right. And so you build that kind of rapport in that relationship. Right. That makes sense. Yeah. And I also would feel like, as when you said, I made that and that sounds really good, that's the feeling I feel like people who like just make music in their garage feel when they get together with like their buddies and they jam out and they're like, God, that sounds really good. That's actually one of the main reasons I love watching jazz musicians specifically, just because they riff so much. And like when they're done, the other guys are like, nice. Like that was like really good. And so there's like that kind of camaraderie.
They all just bust into solos and they have no idea where it's going to go. So everyone's watching them. Yeah.
I still don't understand how jazz works. I think it's just like magic.
They just really feel it.
Just feel it. I've seen that Pixar movie. What's it called?
Soul.
God, Soul.
I haven't seen it. Don't spoil.
No spoils. But it's about jazz.
About jazz.
That's
nothing else.
It's about jazz.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Jazz plays a role.
You like jazz?
So how did you? Okay, so do music and the acting doesn't necessarily naturally take you to like live streaming, right? So how did that decision come about to like do it live, play on Twitch and
do it live,
go there?
Do it live. I used to street perform in Santa Monica on the 3rd Street Promenade every week. Okay. And I did that for about like 2 years. And I really enjoyed doing that. And then because of the pandemic, like I couldn't perform. I was like, what am I doing? Like, what is going on with anything? Yeah. And I found Twitch and I just started like streaming. And eventually, like with the consistency and like the effort and like the work, it like paid off. And I feel like so lucky that it did. And that I like was able to find something. Because like I genuinely don't know what I would have done without Twitch during the pandemic. Like that, like it was a big, because like I was inside for 1.5 years. Like I didn't see anybody for over a year.
Dang. So and you went from a very social life, right, to being cooped up in your house. Like, you know, I'm a guy who could wear PJs for 2 straight weeks and be like, wow, I haven't even sat in my car in 2 weeks. But I can only imagine, you know, when you've kind of, you know,
I mean, like I'm naturally, I'm an introvert, so I'm not like, I don't necessarily need, like I don't necessarily need social interaction to be happy, but like when it's like you in your room by yourself for 1 year.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And half our listeners are like, it's awesome. We love it.
I was so sad when they told me to go to the grocery store again.
They said we could go back outside. God. Yeah, Twitch. I mean, Twitch saved a lot of us. I've streamed more in my entire life than I did in 2020. I think a lot of Twitch did because there was like nothing else. There's nothing else to do. Yeah. That's basically what you did. So that replaced your street performing. Whenever people start streaming, it seems like it kind of is born out of either just like it looked kind of fun, or like necessity. Do you feel like it was a necessity for you to stream insofar as like you needed that kind of to fulfill that street performer hole, that kind of gap that you didn't have anymore.
Yeah. I think in the beginning it was like, when I first started streaming, I wasn't sure how I felt about it because like, I mean, and I think that's true for anybody when they start streaming because they don't have anybody watching them. They're like,
exactly,
you're so new to it. You don't really know what you're doing. And like once you get into it and you get like, you know what you're doing more so, it's like, it's so much better. Yes. I don't even remember what the question was now.
Do you feel like streaming filled that kind of hole for you in stream performance?
I do. That
was that.
I think it filled it and it like overflowed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So like now, do you still have a desire to go back to stream performance?
I don't want to go back.
Yeah,
I like being here. I like being here. I like having my piano and like I like having everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
My little vines.
The vines and the sunflowers.
Yeah.
I know listeners, you can't see, but it's a very nice scene. It's a very nice scene that's been seen.
Oh yeah, the backlighting is great.
It is great. So you plan on continuing streaming while you're doing the music and the acting and just seeing where it goes?
Yeah, I think that like at some point, depending on what happens for me, like I might have to stream less and like, but I always want to kind of go back to like my community on Twitch because I think that the thing that's so amazing about Twitch is the community and like you don't find that anywhere else.
No.
Like, you can have a stronger community on Twitch with like 10K followers than you can on TikTok with like 1 million.
Way more. Wow. Like it's not even close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a, I think that the ability to like have a one-on-one, even if it's just like answering someone's specific question, like they feel like that was an interaction that was just for them.
Right. It's a human to human like connection.
Yeah. As much as, still text on a screen can be, at least they can see you and hear your voice. So at least one of the directions is not all just texting back and forth and not being misinterpreting, tone and blah blah blah. I'm sorry. I was reading a book about this earlier today, about just about how society's moved from voice to text and how it's ruining it. Anyway,
these damn phones.
It's these damn phones. But I digress. I would love to continue moving on. So recently, this is an interesting fact that was brought to my attention today when we were researching this. But your legal name is Heavenly Reyna, but you went by a stage name until you said 19?
Yeah.
Mozart D. Okay, so many questions.
Cool.
Mozart D. Is there a specific significance? Did you choose it?
So basically, it kind of all ties back to the traveling. Because one thing that I always kind of forget to talk about with the traveling is that my mom started this family travel blog when we started to travel.
Okay.
And it initially...
Soul Traveler 3, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Nice.
And it was initially just a way for like her to update our family and like our friends back home. Like it wasn't supposed to be like anything like crazy. But we were like one of the first people to really do that. We're one of the first families to like travel around the world and like document it online. And so it quickly became really, really popular. And it turned into like one of the most popular family travel blogs of that like time period. And I literally forgot the question again. Oh, it was about Mozart. Why? This is so bad. Sometimes this happens to me. And so basically to like protect our like safety, we all went by like names.
Okay.
Yeah,
so my mom was Jeanne d'Arc, my dad was Da Vinci, and I was Mozart. So we like all picked like
sounds like a novel.
names.
Those are cool ass code names. I'm gonna be honest. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys solve crime in Europe? You had to. You're like also we're detectives now.
When our tools got stolen, we never figured out who did it. So I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So no, you didn't.
No.
How many crimes?
Dang it. My gosh.
Also, if you have the tools, come on. I know you're listening. We have millions of listeners, so there's a good chance of that.
Right. It could have been one of them.
Yeah, it could have been one of them.
Probably was.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
Did the blog go the whole time?
Did the what?
Like, did the blog go like the whole time you guys were traveling?
It did. Yeah.
Years?
It's still there. Like she still uses it, but like not as much. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking up. I'm sorry. It's unrelated. I was just like, did we talk about what the D was?
Oh, okay. So here, let me get to that. So basically, basically when I was Mozart for like a really long time, right?
Mozart, yeah.
And so then when I started doing music, it was like, okay, like does she go by Heavenly or Mozart? And there was like, oh, well, there's already been all of this stuff online about Mozart.
Yeah.
So like, why don't we just keep it that way for now or for however long we decide to? And then when I got into acting, I needed a last name.
Yeah.
And so D was my last name because my last name is hyphenated.
Yeah.
And Reyna is the back half of my last name. And my first part of the hyphenated starts with a D.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So like Mozart D.
This is all fitting together. Oh my gosh. I mean, really want
Aquafina's only got one name. That's all I'm saying.
Aquafina. So does Beyonce.
Yeah, but that's YouTuber, right? Yeah. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Everyone's like, "What do you think you're Beyonce?" You're like, "Good point. I'm gonna do it back. I'm gonna do last name." Very good. Very cool. Okay, so that's a nice bow on top of that. Family blog for a very long time, and then when you turn 19, or do you turn 19? Was there like a day where you're like, okay, now?
There was literally one day. It was literally one day. Well, I had been thinking about it for like a while, and like I wasn't sure, like, because it's a big move, like it's a big decision, and like nobody knew my name. Nobody knew that my name was Heavenly. Yeah. Like a few of my friends did, but like nobody online knew. So it was like a big thing. Oh, it was so big. And like it was bigger than when Beyonce announced her twins.
I mean, I heard about it. Yeah.
Right. It like made the earth move. And so I'd been thinking about it for like a long time. And then one day we were just like, let's just do it. Like there's no better time than the present. Let's just do it. And I called my agents. I was like, hey, I'm changing my name today. Do you think that the people at the movie that I just did can like change my name in the credits?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is like, did they do it? Or they're like, she's Mozart D forever.
So did you do like a video? Did you do like a press release?
I made like a little video edit.
Or did you just do the classic, just change your Twitter handle?
Well, at first I changed like, I made like this little video where I was like, I played the music and I was like, hi. So for the
That got me. I'm sorry. That got me. Oh, sorry.
It's a great,
continue.
idea.
And so it was like a little announcement thing. And then after that, I was just like chill. I was just like chilling. Made a LinkedIn.
As one does.
As one does.
Made a LinkedIn. Yeah.
Made a LinkedIn. Changed all my right.
That's so.
And then now it's your name in IMDb and yeah.
I'm thinking about like my parents, like what our names would have been. Like mine would have been like Italian Mama, and like my dad would have been like Big Dog. I'd have been like Steve or something. It'd been like way lamer. You guys picked like actual. Because your culture,
cool.
Because your culture.
Yeah, that's probably and that's why you grew up in Syracuse and I grew up in a tiny town in Washington.
Exactly.
And
upstate New York.
And she had fun. So there's kind of a B to this question, and it's not necessarily related, but so you do so like that's so much. It's just a lot, right? I know how I feel just moving twice a year. So what role is rest? Do you like go on vacations? Do you like go like because you've been you've been so plenty places? Does that have the same effect, or do you is like staying home like your rest? I
think for me now, like for the past 6 years that I've been like in LA, 99% of it has been in LA. Like I went to Michigan to film a short film once, and I was so excited. Because I really honestly I do love travel. And when I was 16, I did a tour. I went on tour in Europe in like I think it was like a 10-city tour. And I went with my mom, and it was like a 2-month thing. And it was really, really amazing to just be able, and that was the first time that I traveled as like an adult. I was 16 as like a person who wasn't a child.
Sure.
And so that was amazing. And it really made me like, it like reignited my passion for traveling. Cause like as a kid, it's like, that's all you know. Like you don't know anything else. And so I can't wait to go out and travel again. I haven't been able to. I was thinking about going backpacking summer of 2020.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
So, you didn't do it. Got it. Okay.
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't. No. I stayed home and I cried and I streamed on Twitch is what I did.
Sometimes at the same time.
Sometimes at the same time, yeah.
I have cried probably about 7 times on stream before.
Oh, gosh.
I've done it a couple times, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Been there. Oh, gosh.
I died a lot that day. It was tough.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
That was something actually heartfelt. I never die.
There's no dying in video games. It's all fake, guys. So do you... So this is really... Okay, I guess this is just really relevant for me. And I always like to ask people who do a lot of things. So what does rest mean to you? Like, what is the word rest? I'm resting when I'm doing X. So, like, I have to I have to turn all this off in order to be like, stop looking at your computer and just go like sit somewhere and try to take in what's around you. Like, that's what I'm like, that is when I'm actually resting. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't do anything today, but in reality, they like answered 100,000 emails.
Right.
They were actually working. Right. And that we're in this, we're in this world now where like everyone's like side hustle. You should be grinding. Like,
grind never stops.
In your TED talk, you mentioned the 4-hour work week by Tim Ferriss.
Right.
And that prompted some of the ideas, right?
Right.
And he's big on like, hey, you can get all your work done here, but then he doesn't really say, and the rest you can rest and do it. It's more like you have time to do more stuff, right?
Right.
So we have a little bit of that, and I'm always interested in how people give themselves time to rest. And if that's something that is even a thing for you right now.
I would say for me, I do have like a hard time with like, oh my gosh.
That was perfect timing. Perfect time.
It's just
like outside, he didn't
rest.
Is that like
rest is not allowed. I do have a hard time with like, even when I'm trying to like not do anything, I feel guilty because I'm not doing anything.
Not doing something, yeah.
And then I just like spend my time stressing like, oh my God, I shouldn't be wasting this time right now, like blah, 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 blah. And then I end up just like feeling worse.
Yeah.
Like after trying to, but I have like found like a more, cause like I recently like moved into my own apartment.
Okay.
And I have a TV for the first time, which is wild for the first time since I was like 12.
Oh, like ever? Well, not ever,
no,
but like
because like we traveled, right? So we didn't have a TV when we traveled. We don't have a TV where like I'm in my parents' apartment right now. Like because I still stream from here.
That makes perfect sense. Whenever I imagine, you said the RV thing, and I always imagine the RV from a Goofy movie, which is like decked out with like a pool and a hot tub and like a big screen TV.
Right.
That's just what comes to mind. So sorry, that makes more sense.
Goofy movie.
I'm sorry. That's what I think of.
Right. No, it was literally like it was like a little RV. Like it wasn't not even an RV with Robin Williams. Like it was an RV. It was an RV. It's a camper.
It's a camper. Okay. It's a camper. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're in your own place now. You have your own TV.
Yeah. And so for the first time, I've like been watching things on a TV, and it's so nice.
It is, isn't it?
It's so enjoyable to just like sit in my bed and like eat Sour Patch Kids and like watch Grease.
Oh man, not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you'd be like, I didn't watch Squid Game. It's so.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to. I'm waiting.
That's great.
I'm waiting.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I want to watch it again. Actually, no, it's actually got me on this whole like line of like, who else? What are the other big creators, creative directors and stuff in Korea that can give me some more content like this? Because have you seen Parasite?
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Parasite.
It's so okay for you, Paul. Yeah. Squid Game, that whole tense the whole time. Mm-hmm. Parasite. For Heavenly, Squid Game. The whole tense thing from Parasite, but like where you're like, the whole time, like
Wow.
the whole time. So it's really, really
I'm
good.
so excited to see it. I really am.
Yes.
Well, as having
Both
a
of you
TV
should
for the
watch
first
the
time.
opposite of the thing. Yeah.
I'm so
Absolutely.
excited.
I love
Is it
that.
like huge? Do you have like a 90 inch?
No, it's literally just like no, it's just
balled
like
out.
maybe 30.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait,
okay.
how big is my
it a
monitor?
Is it a CRT or like?
I don't know what that means.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's a word
I
I
don't
don't
know what that means
recognize.
either.
Non-flat screen, like a big.
No,
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's a flat screen.
Content.
No, it is a flat screen.
Okay.
I'm not like medieval.
No,
Yeah.
of course.
Not to be like not. I don't know.
It's
You
a
had a throne for a
900
while.
pound big screen, bro.
Not
That's
to be
6 feet from the wall because it's the closest you can get it.
not to be classist in any way, but yeah, no, it's just so interesting. I have to wear my glasses to like watch anything, but
We all make
I
love that.
sacrifices.
can't see anything.
Yeah. It's just great that you're like well, I always called it my defrag time. I just like defrag, just relax, just kind of let the day fall off of me. Is watch TV and you're like, yeah, there's like this. I've been watching TV and eating Sour Patch Kids and it's amazing. And I'm like, absolutely, preach. It's so nice. Usually I'm
is.
like watching TV with a spoonful of peanut butter. That's my thing.
Isn't that
Weird.
sticky?
I mean, I don't like put it on myself, Heavenly. It's usually like on the spoon the whole time.
But it like sticks to the top of your mouth.
And you got to work through it. You have a nice glass of water or
Yes.
milk.
I got a nice
Milk.
little glass of milk.
Okay.
And my
Lactose
spoonful
tolerant
of
can't do
peanut
that.
butter.
Have you ever had
It's almond milk. It's
like
almond milk.
toast with peanut butter and like banana?
Oh yeah.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Those are amazing.
Amazing.
Honey too. Throw honey on there.
Honey little fluff. Oh my goodness.
Marshmallow fluff. Okay. If you have a jar of fluff in your house, like I feel like that's
What?
a very specific. I don't know. There's certain people. That's all I'm saying. Do with that what you will. Like you just connect the dots in your head. I don't. But you have
Heavenly,
marshmallow.
Sour Patch
I've
Kids.
never had a
marshmallow
jar
cream.
of fluff in my house.
It's so good.
I should get one. Maybe I'll get one like on my way home.
It's like
This is-
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like just sugar
Yeah.
paste. That's all it is.
Right.
Fluffy sugar paste.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. How did we get here?
I'm so sorry. She's a Sour Patch
Rest.
Kids.
You
TV
asked
for
if
the
I
first time.
rested.
Rest, and
the
then we got
card
then we
beeped.
got. Yeah, I guess that's logical. Get to the
Card
marshmallow fluff part
Exactly. Yes.
for sure.
Well, Heavenly, that you have lived a life in just 21 years old, and I am is awesome. Obviously, it's your life, and you're like, yeah, it's like my life. It's like what I did. It's fine.
I feel like I've done nothing.
But it is you've done a lot. You honestly, it's a lot of. Are you familiar with Jordan Fisher?
Yes.
Yes, a lot of Jordan Fisher vibes of just like this was his life, and like he's in a lot of things all the time, and the rest is really important to him. And just kind of like dabbling in different things and songwriting and making music and acting and all this stuff. And so it's really cool to see what brings you the most joy, what you enjoy the most, and what you do to kind of recuperate while
Right.
also being a Twitch streamer.
Right.
Like the Twitch streaming is like just another thing to add to the resume. So
Right.
it has been awesome. You have a lot going on.
yes,
So I
and
hope
we
you get to
appreciate
have
you
some-
coming on.
Yes, this was great.
It was such a good time.
I hope you get to have some Sour Patch Kids and watch some TV
Aw,
on your
thanks.
30-ish inch TV.
I don't even know. I don't know how big
are
it
my
is.
monitors? What?
How big are my monitors?
How big is this room? Do I remember anything after
How big am I?
11? What is happening? How big am I? Well, to our listeners and our viewers, you can find Heavenly Reyna on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. Heavenly Reyna. And you can find her on heavenly.reyna on Instagram. Soul Travelers 3 on YouTube. Still so.
Actually,
right?
it's Heavenly
Rocking
Reyna
out.
on YouTube.
It is
Oh, it's
Heavenly Reyna on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Sorry, Mom. Time to break away from the blog. Sorry about that. That's your own thing.
I'm my
at
own
Heav-
person.
at heavenlyreyna.com for everything else. Heavenly, before we go, what's next for you? Do you have anything coming up events wise or merch, tours, or books?
I am working on merch right now. I'm hoping to get merch out by like holiday season.
Heck
Something
yeah.
I've been working on for a while.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm looking forward to that.
Why is merch the hardest thing to get out on Twitch?
don't
Like,
know.
I feel like as a Twitch streamer, merch is the thing I struggle with getting the most. Like making it quality. God, it's so freaking.
The quality thing is impossible.
Right.
Really, it's
so-
not impossible. It's very. You got to be very purposeful on it.
Yes.
And I think that.
Go ahead.
I think you gotta have something you're super excited about.
You do.
It's not like you don't just strap your logo on something. You got to do something that you're like, I like this. This is my style. I know that because I've absolutely bombed merch lines about 5 or 6 times in a row. Wow. So really working on that too. But
you have a lot of merch actually. Yeah,
you do that way too much. Just way too many. Just
really flooded
just things
the market
that nobody wants. Like so much stuff that nobody buys, and I really need to stop.
Oversaturation.
Oversatch. Yeah.
North,
and you got the you have the album.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a timeline, or are you guys just kind of trying to do one at a time till you get there?
So I'm hoping to release my holiday EP by November, like sometime in early November. Awesome. And I don't want to like say an exact date in case like it changes. But yeah, and then hopefully a song in January, and then like we'll kind of see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It'd be awesome to release all that stuff along with the merch and kind of like wrap it all up. Like, oh my gosh.
And I'm assuming you're giving probably great updates while you're doing your stream.
I am. I have a Patreon as well. And that's like a thing that I've been working on. I launched it like last month, I think.
Okay. Fantastic.
And
they can find that on your Twitter. Is that is that a place to go check for that, or your website? I guess heavenlyreyna.com. Okay.
We'll go check that out. My Patreon is just patreon.com/heavenlyreyna.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, easy peasy.
I forgot to mention the LinkedIn. Shoot.
Oh my God.
Dang it. All prospective businesses
opportunities were missed. And your stream schedule, I'm going by what you have on your Twitch is correct for the most part. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. I usually sometimes I'll do I won't do one of those streams, but I'm always like at the same time regardless.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're consistent.
Sometimes you just got to say, hey guys, I'm doing something else.
I took a rest day last Friday and it was great.
Isn't it great when you're like, I would be streaming now, but I'm not.
Yeah. I was so glad I took it. I needed it. I needed it so bad.
Yeah. At least for me, I feel bad initially, like I really should do this or whatever. But then like midway through the rest day, I'm like, man, this was a good idea. Why do I do this all the time?
Right.
Why don't I never?
Never work now.
Okay.
We're
just joking.
In game.
We're not going anywhere.
In game.
In game.
In game is fine.
In game. It's fine.
All right. Well, Heavenly, thank you so much for joining us. This was an amazing episode. So many great things. Guys, go check her out on all of the things we mentioned before. Heavenly Reyna, I bet you that a quick Google search will probably get you where you need to go. So
right there.
This has been the May Contain Action podcast. You can listen to full episodes on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else there are podcasts. You can watch highlights on our YouTube channel, May Contain Action. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.